Now, a lot of people are starting to think that retirement is something that only the ultra wealthy can achieve, right? I mean, you look at the math, it looks pretty difficult to be able to get there, but it's just not true. Investing in real estate and in real properties is one of the fastest ways to replace your income and to retire early. So we're gonna show you how easy it is to get started and take you through the numbers of what kind of return you can expect with an investment like this. So sit back, relax, and we're gonna show you how it's done. Okay, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine yourself on a beach. The waves crashing, some sort of coconut-shaped drinking container in your hand, maybe a piña colada, enjoying the life you've built after years of working to get to this point. Now, ask yourself an honest question. How old are you in this imaginary scenario? Is it even a likely outcome from where you are right now? It's everyone's dream to retire early and focus on the things that they love without having to worry about the stress of a job. Even if your personal dream doesn't involve beaches or coconut-shaped beverage containers, we all want to pursue our passions, the things we love, and to be with the people we love. Well, we're here with good news. It really is possible with real estate investing. In fact, we've distilled this down into 3 simple opportunities and ways to get started. Now, these are made really simple so that even a total and absolute beginner can get started. So let's go. Okay, here we go. Here's opportunity number 1, and maybe suggestion number 1 of how to get started so you can maybe get to those toes up on the beach, right? Give yourself at least 10 years. Now, let me tell you why I mean this. Now, a lot of people get into real estate and they hope that they're gonna make a lot of money really quick. Now, I don't think that's necessarily bad, but if you give real estate a little bit more time, it could do a lot more for you. Let me give you an example of what our clients have seen on a really regular basis. Now, the reason why I give you 10 years is it just seems with real estate, 10 years is kind of a magic number. And I want you to imagine for a moment, what could you achieve within a 10-year time frame? Now, imagine that we get together and we put a plan together and you've got just enough to be able to go and invest in your first investment property, okay? Now, after about 3 years, you've been collecting cash flow, you've been gaining tax benefits, somebody's paying down your principal, and you're getting appreciation. Well, imagine that 3 years from now, we go and we do an analysis of your home and we realize it's grown enough equity that you could refinance equity out of the property and maybe go buy another home. Well, just 3 years from now, that means that you had one batch of capital. By giving it time and through a refinance, you move from 1 property to 2. So now you've got 2 properties, okay? 2 properties that are working for you. Now, let's say you give it another couple years. And let's say after another couple years, maybe the markets continue to appreciate and it's done really good. And you take a look and you go, whoa, wait a second. I could sell these 2 first properties that I purchased and I could go buy 3 properties. Maybe you could go buy 4 properties. So that's exactly what you do. Maybe it's year 5, maybe it's year 6. You go and sell the 2 properties and you go get a couple more. Now you go from 2 properties to 3 properties or 4 properties. All of the properties cash flowing, all of the properties appreciating, all of the properties generating tax benefits. Now think what that means. Fast forward 5 more years down the road, and what have you got? Maybe you have 4 homes, each worth somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000, right? You've got over $1 million of real estate that maybe is generating thousands of dollars a month in residual income from cash flow being generated by real estate. Now, if all you did is give yourself 1 year, you wouldn't be anywhere near that end goal. This is what done for you real estate clients are seeing on a regular basis. So hint number 1 or opportunity number 1 or suggestion number 1 is start and give yourself at least 10 years. Okay, suggestion number 2. Now, this is something where we get a lot of questions about how do I get started, right? I need capital. Where am I gonna go find that capital? I wanna encourage you to investigate the opportunity that may be literally at your doorstep, which is your home equity. equity. Now, a lot of people don't think they could get started in real estate, or they think they need to have enough money sitting in the bank in order to go and do real estate. Well, what if I told you that if you are already in a home and you have good credit and you've owned that home for a couple years, you may have enough equity in the property right now to be able to go and buy your first investment property from the equity in your primary residence. Now, a lot of people think when we have equity in our primary residence that that is somehow akin to a bank account. Well, listen, if you've got equity in your primary residence, you can't really swipe a debit card, right? You can't really access that equity unless you refinance, or if the opportunity presents itself, you're able to go and get a home equity line. Now, let me tell you a story of a recent client of ours. Now, this individual had been wanting to get into real estate for a really long time, but just didn't have the ready dollars, okay? Meaning it wasn't in the bank. They couldn't just go pull it out of the bank and say, I'm gonna go buy an investment property. But because they'd owned their home for a few years, we were able to do an analysis and see that they had plenty of equity that had grown in the property. Now, they chose to go get a home equity line. Now, a home equity line of credit is something you could go to your local credit union or bank and you could see about getting a line of credit that gives you the way to access your equity in your property and be able to use that equity for an additional real estate investment. That's exactly what this individual did. He went and got a home equity line and he pulled that money out of the home equity line to go buy his first investment property, go buy his second investment property. So you may have at your fingertips right now equity in your primary residence that will give you a way to break in to real estate that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have been able to. All right, now before we get back to the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. You know, this channel, it really is all about showing you the tips and tricks for getting started in real estate investing. That's what this whole video is about, right? We want to help you win and make millions in real estate. And look, maybe you don't want to make millions. We want to help you make thousands. We want to help you go from where you are to where you want to go. So on this channel, we'll be sharing videos about how to replace your income so that you can retire early and create generational wealth for your family. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with any and all of your family and friends and anybody that might be interested in this that you think will benefit, so we together can begin changing lives one property at a time. Now, let's get back to the video and suggestion or point number 3 of how to begin and take advantage of real estate so retirement could be a lot more feasible than you think it might be. Okay, suggestion number 3 of how you could get into real estate when maybe would it be possible and begin that process to the beach and the coconut-shaped drink. You gotta get started somewhere, and this is somewhere you may be able to get started. Have you ever heard of house hacking? Now, this is something that's kind of been popularized, and I just want to go over it with you briefly so that you know this may be something that you can do. Now, the last suggestion was if you have a home and if you have home equity, you might be able to access it. Well, what if you don't have a home? Could you go get a home? Could you go buy a primary residence? Now, do you know that in order to get a primary residence, your down payment is significantly less than going and buying an investment property? Well, what if you could go buy a primary residence with one intention? And that intention is you're not gonna live in that home forever. This isn't go and buy a primary residence at your dream home that has the perfect backyard and the perfect kitchen and all the perfect bathrooms. This is go find a home that can generate equity and that allows you to get into a piece of real estate for less money down. And maybe you rent out the rooms. Maybe you live in a market where there's basements and you can rent out the basement and live in the top half. Or maybe you can live in the basement and you can rent out the top half. If you could go buy a primary residence today with less money out of pocket, with better interest rates than you'd be able to qualify for anywhere else, and be able to tap into all the potential that can come from owning a property, so you could then access that equity and go invest in a piece of property that would grow more equity and more cash flow, so you could organically grow the portfolio bit by bit, one property at a time for years to come. That could take you from where you are to the retirement you seek. It's all done one step at a time. So if you're ready to get into real estate, but the thought of having real estate or being a landlord is too much, if you're ready to get into real estate, but you're just not sure which of the 3 suggestions or options I shared with you today may work for you, but you know that investing in single family rentals is one of the smartest things you can do to combat inflation and to beat the stock market and to save on taxes, then I want you to know that there's a new way to go about it. There's a new way to get started and to invest in properties without having to visit the properties, without having to fix the toilets without having to take the tenant phone calls. And it all starts right here. If you click the link in the description, you're gonna be able to connect with us. We can book a call with you so that we can chat, so that we can help you get started wherever you may be. Done For You Real Estate, our company offers turnkey investments that are managed by professionals, so you can sit back and relax while your money works for you as you prepare to sit back and relax on the beach, right? Plus, our properties are chosen specifically for their high ROI potential, so you know your investment will grow over time. So if you're ready to learn more about DFY Real Estate and how we can help you invest in real estate and get started, click the link in the description below, set up a call with our team, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks.